بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Quran is Basair. It is a book of deep insight. Those who have Iman will find all these messages of insight, intuition. A person eventually can become a person of vision, a person of sound judgment, a skill, a acumen. This is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where a person has this vision and this power of discernment. هذا بصائر للناس. These words are clear proof for men and a guidance, a mercy for people who are sure. لِقَوْمِ يُوقِنُونَ. So the word Baseerah, which the ulama have explained, is different haqa'iq and realities behind it, where a person تدل على المعرفة الراسخة, such inherent differentiation capacity, such judgment تؤدي إلى التمييز بين الحق والباطل, where a person can differentiate between truth and falsehood, والصواب والخطأ, from the correct from the incorrect, والرشاد والغي, from truth, the straight path, and astrayness. And that will come through ma'rifah nusus al-Shari'ah, through Quran, the words of Allah and the words of Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam, by spending time on the Quran, pondering on the ma'ani, sitting in the company of the ulama haq, ulama rabbaniyin. ولكن يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء. Knowledge will be taken away when the ulama will be taken away, and then it will happen that there will be no ulama. اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. People will choose ignorant people who've got no skill, no acumen of Quran and Hadith, and فَضَلُّوا أَضَلُّوا. They will give fatwa, they will give opinions, they will be astray, and they will lead many others astray as well. People going online and taking opinions from people, Quora.com. Okay, what's the opinion? What's the suggestion? What's your suggestion? So this is the era where we're living in, where a person doesn't have any knowledge of deen, yet he has guts to pass fatwa. So this basira, this vision will come when we go to the ulama and scholars. إني على بينة من ربي أي على بصيرة من شريعة الله التي أوحاها إلي. Allama Ibn Kathir has mentioned that I'm on the bayina, the proof, the guidance of Allah is when I follow the kalam of Allah. قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بَصَائِرُ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. This basair, these proofs have come from Allah. فَمَنْ أَبْصَرَ فَلِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever sees will do so for his own good. If you get hidayat, you follow Allah, you follow the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're not doing nobody a favor, you're doing yourself a favor. وَمَنْ عَمِيَ فَعَلَيْهَا. And whoever is blind, then it will be harmful to himself. So Basaira, these proofs, these evidence in Quran, which is a clear message. فَمِنِ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَإِنَّمَا يَضِلُّ عَلَيْهَا. Whoever receives guidance, he does good, he performs his salat, he makes his dhikr, he's there in the masjid takbir ula, and he does it for himself. وَمَنْ ضَلَّ, frequent the places of evil, frequents the dens of vice, يَضِلُّ عَلَيْهَا, you will lose out. وَمَنْ عَمِيَ فَعَلَيْهَا. So different ayat explain this blindness. Sayyid Khan Sabrullah used to say that we are blind and we're looking at the people of batil, the people that are astray, the people who are living lives of darkness and ghaflat and negligence, and they perpetually breaking the awamir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارِ. It's not the eyes that grow blind, وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبِ. It's the hearts which grow blind. So a blind person holding the hand of a blind person. Manasir Khan Sahib used to say, they are blind, you are blind, you're looking for direction. The blindness, the destruction increases. So when a person doesn't have this idrak and this vision through Shariat and Deen, so Basirat, Nurun, Mudhi' Fihi, Yumkinu min al-Ibstar. It is such a light in the heart that a person differentiates truth from falsehood. Siru fil ard thumma anzuru kayfa kana aqibatu al-mukaththibin. Travel on the earth, see what was the conditions of those people who broke the commands of Allah. So such a vision where you take lesson and you don't become like those people. Then secondly, wujud al-hujja al-wadiha, that there is clear proofs for it. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ. A person who is keen to invite with Baseerah, Sahib al-Hujjah, is a person who himself has tasted it. You ask me how's Durban beach? I never went to Durban. Forget the water, and I'm saying the waves are so nice and the breeze is blowing in and the sand. But myself, I've never even been to any ocean. Forget the diving into the sea. I haven't been to Durban. فَلَمَّا جَاءَتْهُمْ آيَاتُنَا مُبْصِرًا. So when the clear signs came to them, they said, this is enchantment, this is jadoo. فَعُمِّيَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ. So they were blind, these proofs that were in front of them. Then thirdly, تَفَاوُتُ الْبَصِيرَ بَيْنَ أَصْحَابِهَا. Different people have different visions. Somebody has got the Baseerah, but it's not seen clearly. Everybody can see, but their vision is different. Somebody wears glasses, somebody wears thicker glasses, somebody wears colorblind. فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. Today your sight is sharp now. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed the covering, and on the day in Akhirat, when people will see Qiyamah, they'll see death, they'll see the reality. Now your vision is strong. So on the day of Qiyamah now, this vision will not help them. Why? It's too late. وَأَبْصِرْ. They will see, they will hear, they will know. رَبَّنَا أَبْصَرْنَا وَسَمِعْنَا فَارْجِعْنَا نَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا إِنَّا مُوقِنُونَ. The criminals, the mujrimeen, will hang their heads before Allah. Say, Ya Allah, we've seen, we've heard, send us back. We will do righteous good deeds. Now we believe with yaqeen, inna muqinun. So that's vision, but we want, when we read in Quran, Ya Allah, I want the best vision. I want the best acumen. Give me that sense of discernment and judgment, which is the ultimate, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the fahm and the understanding. So, بَصُرْتُ بِمَا لَمْ يَبْصُرُوا بِهِ. أي عَلِمْتُ مَا لَمْ يَعْلَمُوا. I know what they don't know, I understand what they don't know. فَبَصُرَتْ بِهِ أَنْجُنُبْ. So different levels of Baseerah. Ya Allah, give me the ultimate Baseerah. Number 4, Al-Baseerah shart fi da'wah. Such Baseerah which a da'i needs to take people close to Allah. Because not only we need to see, But Ya Allah, give me that Baseerah that I can take people close to you. I can see you, I can find you, I can find Gentle Firdaus, and I can take others also. Ad'u ila Allah ala basiratin. Allama Ibn Kathir and Alam ala basiratin has said, وَهُوَ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about من اتبعه يدعو إلى ما دعا إليه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على بصيرة ويقين وبرهان. Thus Basirat which the Nabi of Allah gave, what his Basirat, what his yaqeen, what his proofs. So I say, Ya Allah, make me a da'i like the Nabi of Allah. When we read Quran, let's make this niyat. Ya Allah, how the Nabi of Allah was a da'i, Ya Allah, make me a da'i like that. Number 5, Al-Basira tuaddi ila al-yaqeen al-mutma'in. Such Basira, Ya Allah, that I have yaqeen in it. Not only I know and I understand, somebody can see something, that's one. But one is you have yaqeen. Allama Tabri has mentioned under this ala basira. Wa yaqeenin alimin. Such basira that you don't only have knowledge, but you have yaqeen in what you know, yaqeen in what you see. Number 6. وجود البصائر ليس كافيا لتحريك الضمائر. Ya Allah, give me such basirat that will move me, that will motivate me, that will shake me. So what's the taqaza of this ayah? What's the taqaza of this amal? So just not being motivated is not sufficient. وَآدًا وَثَمُودًا قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ لَكُمْ. So everything was in front of them, it was clear. وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانِ, and shaitan deceived them, and he stopped them from the true path. وَكَانُوا مُسْتَبْصِرِينَ. They were people of vision, they had discernment, they knew the truth from the falsehood. Like Allama Zamakhshari has mentioned, متمكنين من النظر والافتكار. They had the capacity of differentiating. They seen the truth, but they never did it. ولكنهم لم يفعلوا. They knew أن العذاب نازل بهم. That azab would come, but they were stubborn and caused their destruction. So هذا بصائر للناس. So that's vision, to see the truth, to differentiate between truth and falsehood. Even no matter what level a person is, but not even a fraction of my life, my movement, my speaking should be against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such discernment. Rabi' narrates once we heard Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, when an old man dressed in woolen garment and a walking stick in his hand came to us. So Imam Shafi'i Rahimahullah stood up, neatened his clothing, and after greeting the old man sat down again. Then the Imam continued looking at him respectfully like, okay old man, any khidmah, how can I help you? So the man said, may I ask a question? Imam Shafi said, yes, no problem. He said, what is hujjah in religion? So he replied, the book of Allah. Then he asked, what else? He said, the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What else? He replied, consensus, ijma. So then he said, what's your proof for ijma, consensus of the ummah? So Imam Shafi'i pondered for a while. Then the old man said, I'll give you 3 days grace. You either produce evidence from the book of Allah, or else you need to make tawbah. You will be questionable in front of Allah on the day of Qiyamah. It is mentioned in Siyar. You will be questioned on the day of Qiyamah. So Imam Shafi Rahimahullah's face changed color and he left. He was stressed, grieved, worried. First day went, second day went. After the third day, he returned between Dhuhr and Asr. His face, his hands, his legs were swollen, and it seemed like he was ill, restless. Then he sat down, and the old man arrived. He made salam, sat down. Then he said, did you find the answer to my question? He said, yes. وَمَن يُشَاقِقِ الرَّسُولِ مِن بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Whoever opposes the Nabi after the guidance has come clear to him and follows the path other than that of the believers. So he said, Allah would certainly not burn a person in Jahannam for opposing the believers unless it was compulsory to follow them. Nuslihi Jahannam. Jahannam would not be his destiny. So the old man said, you have spoken the truth. He stood up and left. Then Imam Shafi told the people around him, I read the Quran 3 times every day until I found this verse, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up this verse. So this is a special vision where we can see truth from falsehood. Not only see it, but believe it. Someone tells you fire burns, well, you put your hand in the fire. If you have yaqeen, you won't. But how come sin? We have yaqeen, a person will suffer consequences. How do we commit sin? So there's yaqeen. Not only the knowledge. A girl was traveling, there was riots, closest to her was a masjid. She went to the masjid to take refuge. There was a youngster student who stayed in the masjid those days. Said, can I take refuge? First, he refused, thinking that there's a girl alone. La yakhlu. No male should be alone with a female. So a male should never be alone with a female. Then she said, please, there's riots outside. So obviously the girl was chaste, she was in hijab, but this youngster didn't want to be alone with a female. So they passed the entire night, and it was morning, and things had subsided, and she was ready to leave, and he told her, now you can leave. She said, I'll leave on one condition. The entire night I seen you studying with your kitabs in front of the candlelight. I never slept. I noticed you put your hand on top of the flame and then you removed it, and you did it repeatedly. What is a hikmah? He said, had you not seen it, I would have not told you. Shaitan came to me, told me, here you are, what a beautiful young damsel. Do what you have to do. Enjoy. So I put my hand on the flame, thinking, if this is one portion of my body with a candlelight, not the fire of Jahannam, magnify the fire of Jahannam, what would it have been? And your entire body, what would it have been? I realize it's not worth it. This fire and the fire of Akhirat Yaqeen. She went home, she was from a noble family, an affluent family, and they sent the proposal through taqwa. Allah gives you wealth, Allah gives you pious wife, Allah gives you a affluent wife. Nowadays our Masaajid are empty. Look at the Jummah, look at the Fajr of Jummah. Masaajid are empty, dens of vice are fully booked, no space, tickets are sold out. Women in abandoning their modesty, not only hijab, but the platforms when you enroll for the services. Muslim women discreetly selling their modesty. We cannot imagine, it's our daughters, our sisters. Chastity has been breached for dunya, for a few pounds and dollars. Alcohol and drugs have become the norm. We see the youth disobedient to their parents. What disobedience? We can't imagine, we cannot fathom. A youngster wrote his story. His friends decided to give him a birthday treat. They took him to the rave club. He took a pill. They told him it'll give you happiness and joy. He said, the whole night I danced non-stop. For 2 days I was on a high. The first time I took a drug, I was on a high. I was looking for the next and the next. Never experienced this in my life. Felt like a superhuman. From the ecstasy pills to the acid to the cocaine. There's a daily routine. Before I knew it, I was hooked. All my fees, monies for education, I spent on it. He said the sad part is my friends were Muslims, who would buy drugs from Muslims, who were the biggest dealers. And majority people in the club were Muslim boys and girls. They were non-Muslims as well. It We were all intoxicated. We would commit zina or whoever we wanted, regardless of your color, your faith, your religion. Even young girls would sell themselves to get pearls from us. They were really sick things would take place in the club. He said, when I think of it, I want to vomit. Bestiality was common, not only girls, but boys with boys, girls with girls. There were rooms for orgies. We were lawless. For a time I didn't know what was happening, but my parents never had a clue. They didn't even know what symptoms to look for. They didn't know anything about drugs. They thought, so my beloved pious child, son is working hard, he's studying late at night, out. They worked hard to support me. They didn't realize they were supporting my habit. And what scared me most was my face felt like a pig's face. I should go into the mirror all the time and look at myself. Have I turned into a swine or a monkey? All my funds got finished. I was desperate. We had a function that weekend. That Saturday afternoon, I went to my mother and I said, I need money. I was a bit high. I grabbed her hard. She said, nothing for you. You don't look in a good state. I was so high. I started beating my mother up. She kicked me hard. I got injured. I said, you want to touch me? I went for a knife. I stabbed my mother. That interim, she sent a message out. By the time help came, she had passed away. I got arrested. I'm in jail now. That's the story of my life. So this guna, this sin, this darkness, we don't realize how dark we are in. Where are we going? Which direction we are going? We need to take lesson. We need to make tawbah. We need to get this basirat before it's too late. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq of understanding, tawfiq of making amal, tawfiq of realizing. The amal for today is when the adhan is going to reply to the azan. من قال مثل ما قال هذا يقينا دخل الجنة. Whoever replies to the mu'adhin, then it's a sign that they are jannati. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.